What is going on, man? Patrick James here, and today I'm gonna teach you how to text your way out of the friend zone. Cue that motherfucking intro.
Okay.
All right, so here's the thing, man. I've made multiple videos about texting women, but I haven't really made a video on specifically how do you get out of the friend zone using your text messages. Because here's the thing. If you're in the friend zone with a girl, the absolute best way to get her thinking about you when you're not around and eventually get out of the friend zone, break free from the friend zone, is using texting as a tool. But here's the thing, it all starts with you. Now, here's the deal. Here's how you get out of the friend zone. Here's like the broad strokes. This girl, she already sees you in a certain light. This light does not involve having sex with you anytime in the near future, all right? So what you have to do to get out of the friend zone is give her time for that impression of you that is a friend to dissipate. You gotta give her time for that impression to get weaker. That way you can come back and be a brand new version of you, a version of you that she would consider having sex with, a version of you that she is actually attracted to and chases for your validation. Because here's the thing, if you don't give her time for that first impression to weaken, it will never go away. So if you've ever tried to do things that I teach in my videos, in my programs, in my books, if you try to take this girl who's already in your life, who already sees you as someone who she doesn't have sex with, and you immediately go out and use it on her that day, it's not going to work very effectively because that first impression of you is very hard to change. We've all heard this before. First impressions are hard to change unless she sees you multiple times over time as being someone who is the opposite of that impression, or if you give her some time away from you for her to forget about that impression, essentially forgetting about that impression. That way when you do come back, when you finally do come back into her life, you're a completely changed person. And I know I'm kind of ranting here and I'm going on about this, but here's the thing that you'll find after I give you these 3 steps that are gonna get you out of the friend zone with this girl, using texting as that tool that's gonna help you get there. Here's what you're gonna find, is when you finally do change yourself, improve yourself, become that guy who's attractive to her, you're probably not even gonna want her by the time she wants you, which will only take a matter of a couple of weeks, but by that time, you're gonna realize that the world is full and abundant of all these different women who actually do like you and all these women who you do have the opportunity to be with. So that's just my fair warning about getting out of the friend zone, is by the time you get out, you probably won't even want this girl anymore. But you know, you clicked on this video because you wanna know how to text your way out of the friend zone. So let's get into it. There's 3 steps. The first step to texting your way out of the friend zone is to stop playing textual grab ass with this woman. Now, what do I mean by text grab ass? All I mean is that you're texting this girl all day, every day. You guys are relating to each other, you're cracking jokes with each other, you're sending memes to each other, you're doing all these things over text. But here's the reason it's called text grab ass, is because this text grab ass never leads to meeting up in person. It never leads to making out with her, sleeping with her. And here's why. Because she knows that if she did somehow open the door for you to come in and slide up in between her legs, you would do it in a heartbeat with no questions asked. You would be right there at the drop of a pin. And she doesn't want the guy who's ready and waiting for her to open up the floodgates and let you come into her life. She wants the guy who is going to make her do that for him. She wants a guy who already has all these other things going on in his life. A guy who's chasing his purpose in life, building a business, or becoming like the #1 at whatever chosen field that you're in. Or a guy who has all these options with women already that he doesn't even have the time to be texting this one girl, this girl, all day, every day, playing text grab ass with her, all right? Because when you do play text grab ass, it conveys that you don't have a lot of other things going on in your life. It conveys that you don't have a ton of options with other women. Even if it's not true, that's the impression that she gets. And if you do not give her the time or the space to chase you, which will naturally happen if you have all these other women or things going on in your life, then she's never going to see you in a sexual light. She will never chase you. So the first thing is to stop playing text grab ass. And my general rule of thumb is 1, I only text women if I'm trying to meet up with them in the near future. And this is early on. Obviously, if you've been dating this girl for like 2 to 3 dates, 4 dates, 5 dates, and you've actually already been getting sexual with this girl, the rules slightly change down the road as time progresses. But early on, especially before you've slept with her, don't even text her unless you want to meet up with her, all right? So that should be the only reason that you're texting her. And 2, to avoid text grab ass is my own personal rule. I call it the 10-second rule. If I have to think for longer than 10 seconds how I'm gonna reply to this girl's text or what I should text this girl, I don't text her at all, because my time is too valuable. That 10 seconds is all she gets. If it takes me 12 seconds to think of a text to respond back with that I am satisfied with, I just won't respond at all. I just won't text her at all because I got all these other things that I could be worrying about and probably should be worrying about that are more important than her. So that's step 1. Step 2 is what I call negative space. And negative space is something I really detail a lot in this book, but I will give you the broad strokes of what negative space is. So basically, it is exactly what we talked about at the beginning of this video, where you're gonna give this girl time for her first impression of you, one that doesn't involve you having sex with her in the near future. We gotta give her the space for that impression to falter. So I call it negative space because, you know, in an art canvas, when you're painting a painting, a lot of amateur artists, they tend to worry about the positive space. What do I paint here? What do I paint there? What do I paint there, right? But if you're a really advanced artist, if you're the type of guy who really sees between the lines, right? The artist really worries about the negative space, all the spaces that he doesn't put any paint, and how those intermingle with the actual painting of what you're trying to create here. So negative space is a fancy term for saying, give her some space away from you. Stop texting her so often. Give her some time away. Don't always be actively trying to ask her out and hang out with her and try to be around her. When you're at a party that she's also at, don't be hitting her up. Don't be standing next to her. Don't even go out of your way to talk to this girl. Give her that time away from you. And I guarantee you, if you give her a solid 2 weeks where you don't text her, you don't talk to her, you don't interact with her at all, that impression will fall. 2 weeks is only 14 days, dude. If you can last 14 days without any interaction with this girl, then you, my friend, are in a good position to come through and finally give her that positive impression of you where she actually might be attracted to you. Because I know for a fact this has worked for me, my clients, and it's kind of amazing how quickly that first impression falters if you give it the space that it needs. Now, before I get to the third step on how to text your way out of the friend zone, I want to tell you really quickly about my book, 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl. This is my best-selling book by far, and I want to give you a copy 100% for free. And it's not the ebook, it's a hard copy just like this one, with 107 proven ways to attract women and keep them attracted to you over the long term. And if you want to get this book and claim your free copy right now, just go to howtogetthegirlnow.com and let me know where to ship it. Now let's get into the third step, texting your way out of the friend zone. So by now, I've already ranted about how getting out of the friend zone is really not that noble of a cause, because by the time you get out of the friend zone, you're gonna be so abundant with women, you're gonna know how to attract them when you finally do change for the better, to where it won't really this girl won't really matter to you anymore. Then I told you how you should stop playing text grab ass, and in fact, that's the number one thing using text that's keeping you from sleeping with this girl. And number 2, I told you how to create that negative space, to give her that 14 full days of zero contact with you, so that that friend zone impression of you can actually falter and weaken, and you can come through using this book, most likely, if you want to do it the easy way, the no-brainer way, to attract her after 2 weeks. So here's what you gotta do. When you finally do text her after 2 weeks of zero contact, all you have to do is, like I said, only text her for the purpose of meeting up, all right? So when you text her, ask her a short question. For example, you could say, hey, can you keep a secret? Right? It's a short question, it's low investment, it's not playing text grab ass, and no matter what she says, of course, or LOL, or it depends on how juicy it is. All you have to do is say, I'm not convinced yet, ... right? What are you doing here? You're not chasing her validation. You're not approving of her answer. You're not divulging all these secrets, right? You're keeping the loop open so that way she starts to chase you. So no matter what she says to that, can you keep a secret? You say, I'm not convinced yet, ... which will get her to start qualifying herself to you. Meaning that she's going to either beg you to tell the secret, or she's gonna be like, oh my God, I promise I can keep you secret. No matter what she says, all you have to do is respond with this. Here's your chance to prove it. Let's link up at insert place and insert time. And then that's it. By 3 texts, you're already shooting for the meetup, you're already getting her to qualify herself to you, and you already have her chasing you. And when you finally do meet up with her, be bold, be attractive, use any of the attraction techniques I teach on this channel, because here's the thing, now you've set the tone that you're no longer gonna play text grab ass with her. You've set the tone that you only wanna text her to meet up with her in person. And you gave her time for that friend zone impression of you to falter, right? You gave it time to weaken. That way, when you finally do see her again, it'll be the first time in 2 weeks likely that she's seen you or even thought of you. And when you come in, you challenge her, you tease her, you push pull, you qualify, you do all these things we talk about on this channel, then you, my friend, have essentially texted your way out of the friend zone. And as you can see from these 3 steps, you didn't really do a whole lot of texting, but you stopped texting her as much and you gave her some negative space, some space away from you for that impression to falter. All right, if you like this video, all I ask is that you hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not already subscribed to the Raw Dating Advice family, hit that subscribe button below. And I just learned this, but YouTube is not really showing our videos to all of our subscribers. So if you really do value these videos, we're gonna start doing videos every single day. So also hit that notification bell. That way you are notified every time we come out with a video, and one that could essentially revolutionize your dating life. And lastly, like I said, if you want to pick up a copy of my best-selling book, 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl, The Raw Secrets of Attracting Women Anytime, Anywhere, all you have to do is go to howtogetthegirlnow.com and let me know where to ship it. It's 100% free, just pay shipping and handling. On that note, I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'll see you later. Peace out.
Okay.